This video is brought to you by Straight Goods News, Canada's alternative online news source. Visit straightgoods.ca.
Well, I just wanted to ask about the C38 and why the NDP are not cooperating with other opposition parties.
It's not true.
It's not true? Okay.
No.
What are you doing?
I met with Elizabeth May last night. We had a good conversation. There is a large number of amendments that we'll be moving at the last stage. We have some changes we want to do to the bill in committee, and that's the stage where we're at. We've been out across the country, engaging hundreds and hundreds of Canadians, thousands upon thousands online, and there's obviously an appetite in this country to have this bill broken into its parts still and addressed for all of the parts that are in there that ought not to be. Employment insurance, ruining environmental protections on down the line. So no, we're open to conversations with all the parties, including the government, to try to make this thing better than it is right now.
What exactly do you hope to achieve then, and can you achieve it?
Well, we hope to achieve many things. Something we would hope to achieve is the government to put a little water in their wine and realize that while they have the power to ram these pieces of legislation through, this looks very bad on them and is very bad for the economy and the environment in particular. Taking money away from seniors is not exactly good government, especially when you bury it in a Trojan horse bill. So we had some early indications from the government that they were open to talking. That went away. We've got a subcommittee and some certain concessions, but nothing that we actually need. So if they would like to disrupt the place, if they would like to have a prolonged process, then they are doing everything in their power to make that possible. We want to have more study and so Canadians can understand what's here.
Minister Raitt wants the two sides in the CP rail strike to just sort of agree to go back to work and get things running on Friday. What do you think of that? I mean, it has to go through the Senate and everything.
We all want the rail strike to be over. We want work to proceed so products can move. But I don't know what universe the minister occupies, in the sense that she poisoned the well of negotiations. And she's now asking the union to have their rights stripped away, to head back to the table and pretend like the employer is going to negotiate in good faith. That's not what she's created. She's created a circumstance in which that's impossible. I don't know how the government can't feel complicit to the problems that have now been created and the very, very poisoned work environment that's going to result from this. Whenever they do get a deal, I can't imagine how the workers are going to be jumping up in the morning excited to go to work with a deal that's been imposed on them by this government. But politics shouldn't interfere with this. There's a process. We set this up. The government interfered very, very early on, 10 hours into the work stoppage, and many days before that, they made it clear to the employer that they were going to force the union back to work.
And what about the government's complaints that the Senate is not willing to hear the bill today?
Taking lessons on democracy and accountability from the Conservatives, particularly with the Senate, which they stuffed to a new record high of 26 in 1 year, for them to now complain about the unaccountability of the Senate is a bit rich. Should the Senate be playing this role? Absolutely not. We don't think the Senate should be playing any role. Exactly what do they do for Canadians other than moments like this where they block legislation? Even legislation we disagree with coming from the House of Commons. That's not their role. They're unelectable, unaccountable, and poor Conservatives for complaining about the lack of democracy in the Senate. They haven't actually done much to help that, yeah?
Avez-vous l'impression que c'est un peu indécent de demander?
What's the weirdest thing There's one constituent who sends me one sachet of tea every week, so that I can have a cup of tea and reflect on my thoughts. What's the weirdest thing I've ever received? I didn't expect that question.
Tea?
I'm positive. Well, it's still in the bag from the tea company. I'm pretty sure that it is. No, I wish I had something much more creative for you. But in light, I guess I'm hesitating as well in light of what's been received by the Conservative Party and then almost by the Liberal Party. I'm very hesitant to make any light of today. From time to time, MPs get interesting gifts, unusual handicrafts and that kind of thing, but what's happening now, this is something that none of us ever expected to see, and it puts all of our conversations as political figures into a different light. That there's somebody out there who would think that this is somehow normal, is deranged.
Is it unnerving?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question, right? Is it unnerving? Yeah, it's somewhat unnerving. Sure. I mean, if someone had sent it to one of your press bureaus or sent it to any identifiable public figures in Canada, this is somebody sending a very disturbing and disgusting message, and we hope the law prosecutes to the full extent. I mean, boy oh boy, it's a bit unnerving. You hope there's people out there that, you don't imagine there's somebody out there that would do something like this until you see it happen, and then you're constantly surprised by certain people's depravity.